What is happening? Turbo Toys here! But you can call me Turbo today. Well, we wasn't able to get out much since the last hunt, but we literally made a few flying visits, so let's see what they had. Right, as we move into our first B&M, not much to write home about, but they have a couple of ring playsets and a few toy replica titles, some Championship Showdown packs and the Drew McIntyre Slam Cycle, and this really grinds my gears.
You just made the
Someone's
list.
stupidity has really ruined this for the next person, but at least they've got Peely. Another section of the store had some basics. Now, nothing new here, but they do have the Wrestlemania Basics as well as the Series 116, including the Roderick Strong, but unfortunately they didn't have no chase. Good to see that some stores still have the Andre the Giant and the Macho Man carts, and of course they've got the Rock in his Slammobile. A similar story in another B&M with the same basics, but they did have the Taker and Hardy Showdown pack. So we take a quick jump over to Smyths and we have a little look in the discount section, with a couple of Star Wars figures, some DC Multiverse and some Marvel on the clearance. £7 for a Batman seems like quite a good deal in my opinion. Now, sticking with the Batman theme, we go over to the DC section. Now, there don't seem to be anything new here, but I do hope to see some of them DC Multiverse figures that we do see on them US toy hunts. I think someone turned out the lights in the Star Wars section, but they do have the Black Series figures from the Clone Wars, Mando, Luke and Han from Return of the Jedi, and I actually can't wait to see Smyths stock that Dark Vision Rey figure. That's going to be awesome. And then as we move on, we can see that they've got the 3 3/4 retro and vintage car back figures. I kind of feel like $14.99 is a bit much. Now, moving on to the section I don't tend to look at, but watching other people's hunts across the pond, I did wonder if Smyths was ever going to stock the Amber Collection figures, because that Dr. Ian Malcolm and that John Raymond Arnold look absolutely incredible. I also like that Dennis Nedry figure. I think he looks cool, but it doesn't look like Smyths are stocking them anyway. But they do have a great selection of dinosaurs in this store, so hopefully one day we may see him stocked in Smyths. But for the time being, it's going to be another day and another hunt, and it's a week apart, but we're going to go back to one of the same B&Ms. But this is why you can't sleep on a B&M store, because every once in a while, when you ain't expecting it, boys, BAM! It slaps you around the face and it makes you feel alive, because out of nowhere they are stocking Elite Series 85. Now, I was actually on my way to Smyths to get this figure, the Boneyard Match Taker, and I ended up saving a few quid. I was well with this Liv Morgan figure, and it's great to see her because it looks like Smyths won't be stocking her, so what a gem to find this one. And it's also really good to see Alistair Black. Now, I believe this is the common version, not the chase. And lurking behind him is Karrion Kross. Now, this is another great figure to see in B&M. They also have this Bray Wyatt from the Firefly Funhouse along with Huskus. And then it looks like the only other Elite they've got is this Drew McIntyre that's been here forever because of its damaged packaging, but this is why, boys, you should not sleep on your B&Ms. Right, jumping over to Smyths and keeping an eye on them clearance figures, but nothing's going to tickle the old pickle in a basic figure clearance. Here's hoping that the Stone Cold and AJ pack get a price cut real soon, because them head scans on them figures could be put to better use. We see the Ricochet and Velveteen Dream pack there for a tenner, as well as some older battle packs but still marked at £20. You got the Big E and AJ pack still marked up at £20 a piece, and the Top Picks Finn Balor still hanging in there for $15. And Miss Elizabeth at £7 really breaks my heart, really does. But we can also see Cena, Woods, Truth and Strowman all at £20 still. A quick look over the Marvel section, they do still have that Thanos, as well as some figures from the X-Men series, including Cyclops, Charles Xavier and the Omega Sentinel figure. They still have the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Build a Stiltman series. But Smyths are expecting to have some new figures out on the pegs in the month of June, so Legends fans, be on the lookout for these figures. Right, a quick look at the pop wall for all my Funko Pop followers. I think the Entertainer might have a better pop selection, but taking nothing away from this place, we see Pokemon Pops, Avengers, King Kong, Fortnite, and some fantastic pops from the TV-based ones like Friends and The Simpsons. And we also spy some DC and Marvel, as well as music pops like the Freddie Mercury. So there is a bit of something for everyone on the wall of pops. It's got the same DC figures in this store compared to the other one, and no sign of anything new being stocked anytime soon. So we'll just have to wait a bit longer for anything new to come in. Moving on to my favourite section, we can see it's still so stacked with the Boneyard Undertaker there, as well as figures from the Royal Rumble and Wrestlemania series, a bit cheaper than what they're marked up as. We see figures from Elite 83, 84 and 85 on the pegs, with figures like Sasha Banks dropping down to $14.99. It's great to see a few Alistair Blacks in store because he was never an easy one to get before. Also great to see figures like Dusty and Angel Garza. And we can see here that the basic section is absolutely stacked as well. And it's good to see that a lot of these Chase figures are still available to get on the pegs, including this Chase Edge, which I've never actually seen in person until now, but unfortunately didn't have no Chase Jeff, and I didn't go looking for the Chase Alistair Black, but that was really cool to see. And to my surprise, it was very cool to see Karma sitting there on the pegs, and I only noticed the one, but it's still very cool to see collector's editions coming through in Smyths. And as we move on, we got the same old suspects for now in the AEW section, but still very cool to see these figures. We're just waiting on the Sammy Guevara. There's still stock in the UK exclusive ring for a bargain price, but I don't need another ring, nor does eBay. But as we start to make our way out, we actually come across the new Rock figure, and it was also great to see more variation in the Masters of the Universe Origins line. Now for a while it was just He-Man and Skeletor, but now it's great to see a few more others from that figure line. But if you are a fan of the Masters of the Universe, then keep your eyes peeled because they are expecting some new figures in soon. But let's take it back to the Turbo Zone and see this week's pickups. Right, starting off with an absolute banger, we got the Supreme Fighting Machine, Karma. Now we did actually pre-order this one a while ago, but they did recently start shipping this one out. Now I did want to review this figure with two of his other figure releases, but I didn't realise that I didn't actually have a Papa Shango Elite, so we might have to figure that one out. And I was worried that he might not be in store, so I had to jump on the old pre-order train and get him. An absolute quality looking figure. Now next up we picked up a loose bundle of wrestling figures. Now these will be all for custom fodder apart from the Elite 19 Kane. Now I realised there was too many earlier Kanes that I missed out on, so I'm trying to build up my Kane collection. Now I've got no real use for the Santino, but I might use him for a trade, or his torso type would probably work for maybe like an Owen Hart custom, but we'll have to wait and see. Now it's always great getting to CM Punk because I can always use the parts off of this basic to restore my Elite collection. Now the Lesnar will serve me well for a custom that I'm planning on making, and the Dean Ambrose I've got a couple of uses for, so make sure you stay tuned. Now we picked up another bundle of figures, and these are pretty bad to say the least, and I was hoping that Sin Cara was in better shape so I can put him in the collection, but sadly he ain't. But nonetheless, it's still a great figure for custom parts. And it's the same story with a Heath Slater, it's not in the greatest shape, but again a great figure for customising. I've already got a plan in mind. Now the AJ Lee has had it rough, but I did make an AJ from when she dressed up as Kane before. So it'd be really interesting to try and find another theme for her. I think she dressed up as Nikki Bella once, so... Or I could just fix her up because she's definitely becoming a figure that's a lot more harder to pick up. Now I like the Ziggler basic, I'll probably never do anything with it, but it was cool to get another Rock as well as the Christian. I'm trying to collect every Christian head scan, so it was cool to grab this one in the bundle. This Liv Morgan, now it was so hard to get her first Elite, which was a collector's edition I believe, like correct me if I'm wrong. But I was able to pick up her basic, which was almost similar to the Elite in terms of appearance. So when I see her in B&m, I had to pounce on her because I knew that Smyths wasn't going to stock her, and I didn't know how many chances I would get to see her in the wild. And now that I've said that, I could just imagine that she's going to become the new peg warmer of 2021. Now the gimmick's kind of outdated, but I could not pass on getting this figure. And last but certainly not least, we have The Undertaker. Now this is based off his WrestleMania 36 match with AJ Styles in that cinematic Boneyard match, which I must say was an absolute awesome watch. But what ruined it for me was that AJ was brought back so soon to TV, with himself saying that it was a wasted opportunity. But this figure is an absolute awesome representation of The Undertaker from that match. Another B&m classic, because like I said, I was on my way to go pick him up and I managed to save myself a couple of Queen quids just by going to B&m. And this figure will look absolutely great in the Undertaker collection. So make sure you stay tuned for future reviews, but for this week's toy hunt, that's going to do it for this one. Boys, what have you been finding and what have you been hoping to find in stores recently? Have you picked up any of these figures? What are your thoughts on the figures in this video? If you enjoyed the hunt, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Come follow your boy on Instagram and TikTok at Turbo Toys. And as always, until that next video, boys and girls, I will see ya when I see ya.